the syllabus of class 12th, I would actually share the, I have shared the syllabus with you people yesterday when I received it. And therein they have added just 1 or 2 topics in the in this year from the reduced syllabus. So that way we are good to go. Okay. The basic breakup is just the same. You have SQL, then you have Python, and in Python we do another library, which you people have done in class 10. That is the pandas. And the associated libraries along with it, like for graphs, we do matplotlib. And for some numerical things, we do NumPy, right? So these 3 is there in the Python part. And then we have 2 theoretical cum case study based setups. That is, one is your societal impacts, and another one is your networks. So that is around, I think, 15-20 marks approximately. And the rest of the 50 marks is your SQL and Python only. Okay. So what I start with today is SQL itself. And in this portion, what we start with is something called as functions. Okay, SQL functions. Now, concept of function remains the same, whether I'm talking about SQL or whether I'm talking about any other language also. The concept of function is that system or the language provides you with one single name for a small piece of work, which I want to do. He gives me an inbuilt code for it, which makes my work easier. And the name of that inbuilt code is my function. Like I have to do square root. Now, writing the code for calculation of square root is difficult. So the system or the language provides me, I should not say system, the language provides me an inbuilt function for it. अब inbuilt function का meaning क्या है? Inbuilt function का मतलब है कि the programming language is providing me with the code, but you don't have to even look at the code. You don't have to bother about what is written inside that code. Okay. It is just the name of the function, name of the program which has been given to you, and you use that. Okay. The way we use it, the name of the function, what all input I can give to the function. Like if I'm talking about a square root function, the function which will do calculate square root for me of a number. So obviously that function needs an input which is my number, जिसका वो square root निकालेगा, isn't it? So there could be some functions which need 1 input. There could be some functions which need 2 input. There could be some functions which need 3 inputs, or there could be functions which does not need any input, right? So it's an inbuilt code given to you for a particular piece of work, and it is not a very huge work. It's a small work, so that that function can be reused multiple times. अगर आप 2-3 चीजों को combine कर देंगे in one function, then what happens is then I cannot reuse it at different places much, because maybe that some part of that thing is I don't need. अब अगर वो square root, cube root सब कुछ एक ही program में कर रहा हो, एक ही function के अंदर कर रहा हो, so maybe many a times I'm not able to utilize that function. Why? Because मुझे I don't want square root and cube root together. So that becomes an unimportant function for me then. Unused functions. So it's better that I have one function for square root, one function for cube root, one function for summation, one function for multiplication or power, whatever it is. Okay, so that is the basic idea of functions. In Python also we have random function, we have print function, we have square root function, power function, everything we have in Python also, and many more. Len function we have done so many in list and dictionaries also we have done, keys function, this, that. So they're inbuilt code. Now what we do today are the SQL functions. Okay, meaning remains the same. Now SQL functions are of 2 categories mainly. One is the single row functions and the other is the multiple row functions, or as we call them, aggregate functions. Minded, this year they have asked this question that identify the name of some average, max, min, count functions, and it was an MCQ question. So a person had to identify this name, either aggregate or multiple row. They had given single row also, they had given scalar function also. So it is important to remember that multiple row function को ही aggregate function बोलते हैं, and why? Because multiple rows का one output is given to us, and we have done these functions technically last year. Okay, aggregate functions or multiple row functions we had done. You all agree to that? Show me a thumbs up that we had done aggregate functions and you remember. Yes, Rodrin remembers. Adya, you remember count star, max, min, average. Correct. Okay, good. So these we had done, aggregate functions, right? Now what we do is, this year we start with the single row functions. By single row, I mean that when I apply this function to a column, I get output for every individual value in that column. So for example, if I keep my SQL screen open and I open an existing database, which I presume I have, and a table in that. Let me see the table names. When you try to do things faster, you go wrong. Okay, so let me take any like charity or something. So if I'm saying select everything from the table charity. Okay, so if I apply a single row function, any single row function on this column, F name. Okay, and I'm not giving any where clause because we use these functions with select command only. If I try to apply a function on this, I get one output for this whole row, one output for this entire second row, one output for this entire third row. Like that. Okay, single row. For every row, I get an output. The applicable rows, of course. If we are putting a where condition, then it will be the applicable rows. Whereas in the case of multiple row functions, you get one output corresponding to multiple rows. Like if I say sum, so sum of country, so it will be one output. If I say max of country, one output, min of country, one output. Right? So multiple rows के corresponding one output when I'm getting multiple row functions or aggregate functions. Single row is one output corresponding to every row for which column you're talking about. Okay. Now single row functions are further categorized into different categories of functions based on the type of the data I'm talking about. We have done various data types in SQL, character data type, numeric data type, date and time functions, date and time. Okay, date type data also is there. Time we have not used, but date we have used. Okay, so ये अलग-अलग types of data we have. Similarly, we have different kinds of functions which can be applicable on the string data or char or varchar data as we call them. Number data, that is int and decimal and float data, and my date and time based functions also. Okay, let's move on to the first category. That is the character or the string functions most of them. Okay. Now these are actually very, very simple and straight. Half of the functions you know by the name. Okay. So by the name, I understand that concat, lower, upper, trim, L trim, R trim, substring, all these functions are applicable to my characters. I can convert the data into uppercase. I can convert the data into lowercase. I can convert the data into okay, uppercase, lowercase only. And I can join the data together of 2-3 fields. I can remove the spaces. So all these are applicable to my character data, char, varchar fields only. Okay, so we learn about these functions. Then we have certain numerical functions to be done, wherein you have got power function, round, truncate, mod. We'll talk about it in the coming this thing. And then a list of date-based functions, like date-based value may say I want to extract the year. So you have a year function. This gives me the current date. This gives me the current date and time. This gives me current date again, but with a difference with this date. So all these functions are based on the date values. Okay, which you have put into your table. Right? Anywhere you don't understand, please stop me. Okay. Now, okay, I have the numerical functions first. Okay, let's do the numerical functions first. Okay. First one is power function. Okay, I can write POW, I can write POWER. Both are possible. Okay, simply power, what it does, x to the power y. So if I am giving him two input and I have to give him two input, so it is he's going to take the base as x and the next value as my exponent value and give you the result. Certain examples I'm showing you. This is when you are not applying it to the table, direct some values you want to work with, or this is when you apply it to a table ka field. You can see the example. I'm saying, okay, pick up the ID, pick up the salary, calculate the salary to the power 2 and display that to me also. And देखो heading change नहीं किया मैंने, aliasing नहीं करी है, तो same heading is coming from the table employee. So from the table employee, he'll search for the ID field, he'll search for the salary field, he'll search for the power salary to the power 2. I mean salary निकाल के उसको power करेगा and then he will display that to you. ठीक है? This is how I use it with the table. Otherwise, if it is a general direct one, I will not need to write, I don't have to write the from thing. So let's try it out. अच्छा, इसमें what we have to be careful about is if I have any negative input I'm giving or I'm giving any kind of a decimal input. Okay, I'm specifically saying it, it's like, you know, not holding your nose like this and going around and holding your nose like that, because in the exam paper, they sometimes ask you, if I give this input as this, then what will happen? So do practice all variations. Error hai to theek hai, no problem. Null hai to okay, 1 or 0, something is there. You should know that sometimes we don't try the other way around. I also don't do it at times. Kya zarurat hai? Just straight काम है उसको करो. But at times they ask those kind of questions also. Okay. Now if I'm saying calculate the power of 3, 2. So 3 to the power 2 is 3 3 is 9. Multiplying 3 twice. Right? This is a direct answer. Now, I don't want this heading. I don't remember whether I've done the aliasing with you or not in class 11. So let me tell you like that only. I don't want this heading. What I want is I want result. Just as a heading, I want the result. So in that case, what do we do is in SQL, anywhere you want to change the column name only for that select output. Only for that select output. That is this query only. Neither it's going to change it in the table, nor it's going to be applicable for the next select output you're talking about. Only for this output. Okay? Because you're doing some calculation and then you don't want that calculation, the formula dikhna chahiye upar. I just want a specific heading to be shown. In that case, I do as and the new name what you want to give. You can put it in quotes if it is a multi-word thing. Result of power is, if it's a multi-word, that means you're giving gaps. Okay? Or else quotes is not required if it is a single word. Obviously space आ जाएगा तो वो confused जाएगा ना कि अगला डेटा है या इसी का पार्ट है, इसलिए quotes डालना जरूरी है to put it as one input, one data. Moreover, as is also optional. If I don't put as, but I just give a space and I give the new name, that is also applicable. Let's try that. One is the normal lamba wala method. Okay. Other is that I remove as. Okay. And the third thing I said that I want to give a single word. So can I do it without quotes or not? Okay, 3 variations to this. As ke saath aliasing. Why I call it aliasing? It's like the second name, na? So just a new name given to this heading. Otherwise, वो actual formula दिखा देगा. So with as, without as, with quotes and without quotes. But without quotes, my single word will be allowed, obviously, not multiple words. Right? Keep it in mind. So this is one thing. Now, secondly, let's try out the actual variations of the power function. ये तो aliasing था. What happens if I do -2? You're all math students, you understand. This is what? 1 to the power 3 square. Which is 1 to the power 9. And then 1 to the power 9, जो भी आएगा 0.1. Is it fine? So the power becomes negative, so it becomes 1 to the power that expression. है ना? Yes or no? Right. So minus, agar you are putting in the power, what happens if I put a minus in the base? Minus 3 to the power 2. Normal calculation, क्योंकि जब मैंने स्क्वायर किया तो माइनस इंटू माइनस प्लस हो गया. अगर ये 3 होता, minus into minus into minus, then my answer would have been negative. So this is absolutely your basic mathematical rule. No extra rule, no different rule followed by the system. Fine. So both negative done. Now let us try with a decimal number. So 3.2 to the power 2. मतलब base को decimal दिया, चलेगा, no problem. Base is normal, इसको decimal दिया, power को, no problem. जो भी इसका mathematically he will calculate. ठीक है? So power also, I mean your negative also allowed and decimal also allowed. Negative में you have to be careful that if it is the power value is negative, then you go 1 by that power expression. तो जो भी आंसर आएगा. ठीक है? That's about your power function or power function. Of course, when you apply it to your field, like here I'm talking about a table which is my charity table. So I'm saying, let me see all the fields first. We had one number field, huh? On that I can apply it. This country. Okay, so I'm saying select I name, no, L name, comma, power of the country, comma, maybe 2 or 2 square from charity. अब इसमें from charity लिखना compulsory है because country and L name you will not get others. Yes, capital. ठीक है? Okay. Let's move on to the next one, which is little tricky when we move on to a few set of examples in this. That is your round function. Mathematically, we understand round. Rounds off to the next whole value. Okay. Now, when you talk about rounding off, in mathematics, we round off as per the decimal part. Isn't it? As per the decimal part. Okay. But here you can round off the number in the integer portion also. You have rules by which you define the rounding off in the integer portion also. Let us see that. ठीक है? Let's directly see. और इसको समझो, ये एग्जाम में भी जरूर होता है, and every exam में, I mean internal, external, whatever it is there. Let's take up a number which is select round, brackets open, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 8, 4, 9. Okay. Now, I may exclude the second argument to the round function. Round में मुझे क्या बोलना है? The number, of course, which you want to round off, and up to how many places you want to round off. That is the second thing. The round off up to 2 places, up to 3 places. But in mathematics or in normal day-to-day life, we round off in the decimal part always. Okay. यहाँ पे we can do it in the integer portion also. What is the rule that we learn? But as such, if I say round off up to 3, अब ये 3 का मतलब है round off up to 3 decimal places. Means final answer should have up to 3 decimal places. Round off up to 3 decimal places. For that, he will see the 4th digit, okay, and round off the 3rd one. Post decimal, it is the single digit rounding off. अब ये 9 है, that is more than 5. 5 or more than 5 में next digit पे चला जाता है. So this becomes 5. है ना? Final answer should have up to 3 decimal places. So I'm going to see at the 4th decimal place value. If it is 5 or more than 5, the 3rd decimal place value will be taken to the next digit. It's all digit wise. इसमें hundreds thousands का कोई logic नहीं होता, right? Okay. 285.285, right? What if this would have been less than 5? So it would have been 284. No rounding off is taking place. Or we say it doesn't go to the next higher value. It stays there only because my fourth digit is less than 5. Right? Oh. Now let's move further. I want up to 2. Now you will tell me the answer. You want to put it on the chat box, you put it in the chat box, or you want to speak out, you can speak out. Hello. 28. Okay. Don't forget 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6.28. Right, Aja. Anna? Because 4 is my less than 5. So 8 remains 8 only. Doesn't change. Correct? Try this one. Oh God. Okay, try this one. Yes, Rodrini, try this one. 3, 4, 5, 6.2. Why 0.2? My second digit is more than 5. Rodrinil, you have rounded off the number up to 0 decimal places. Huh? There are no decimal place values. But I have to round off the number up to 1 decimal place. Means your answer should have 1 decimal place. Okay. And when I want my answer up to 1 decimal place, I will check the second decimal place value. More than 5. Hai? So this will be rounded off to the next digit. So ultimately, in this case, my answer is 3456.3. You get my point?
Yes.
Correct? Okay. Let's try out another one. Let's take this number and say round off up to 2 decimal place. What should be the answer? Up to 2 decimal place. Think again. Other think again. I've changed the number, beta. It's 2852. Up to 2 decimal places. Okay, my answer will have number up to 2 decimal places. But this 2.28 will be changed to 0.29 because my next digit is rounding off का जो rule कहता है more than 5 है तो वो next digit पे चला था. But इस case में क्या होता है that वो next digit को देखता है और इसको round off करेगा. So my final answer is going to be 0.29. Is it okay, Rodney? Adya? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's move a little more further. Now I'm talking about up to 0 decimal place, which whether I write or not means the same. Means the same. Means I can exempt this part. It will be meaning up to 0 decimal places. Or I may put, and I mean that up to 0 decimal places. Up to 0 decimal place means I don't want anything in the decimal part, right? But to decide where will this go, I have to check this particular value. Less than 5, eh? So no change. So what will be my answer? Correct, both of you. And यही अगर हो जाता 5 or more than 5, then what would be the answer? Correct. So this part is clear. ठीक है, यहाँ तक is a basic rule of mathematics की बात. Now the question starts जो हम लोग मैथ्स में नहीं करते हैं, that is I start by saying round off up to -1. ठीक है? Now here what happens is that now I've started, when the moment the second argument becomes negative, I've started moving towards my integer part. Right? The -1 means up to, I mean, a round of tens, in tens place, hundreds place, thousands place, like that. Okay? So -1 के केस में अब इसका एक बेसिक जो हम लोग एक पैटर्न फॉलो करेंगे to remember it properly will be that my one digit, it's -1, so my one digit will be effective. This one digit after my decimal, this one digit will be affected. Fine. My deciding factor is this digit only. So this is the units place, and then you have tens place, then you have hundreds place and thousands place, right? Right. So this is my unit place will decide how much the value will be rounded off in terms of tens. -1 अगर है, in terms of tens, I will decide what will be my number. Okay. Now इसको थोड़ा सा understand in terms of number line. 56 को अगर मैं tens के format में बोलूं, what is the upper limit and lower limit, which we call as floor value and ceiling value. 56 lies within 50 and 60. Excellent. Right, Adya? 50 and 60. Correct? Now, because this one deciding factor -1 है, तो ये मेरा deciding factor है. Because this is more than 5, I move to the higher value, which I call as the ceiling value. 50 और 60 के बीच में 60. So I move to the upper value. ठीक है? So 3, 4, 5, 6 will be rounded off to 3, 4, 60. Number of digits in the integer part will never reduce. Decimal part में reduce होता रहता है वो, जैसे जैसे आप round off करते रहते हैं. Okay? 4-digit number, like, you know, it's a very simple thing. If you owe somebody 3,456 rupees, so you cannot say that, okay, I will pay you 345 or 346 rupees. ना? Isn't it? So अगर वो 4-digit number है, तो 4-digit number ही रहेगा. Right? But हम लोग उसको tens के units, tens के digits में या hundreds के digits में या thousands के digit में round off कर देते हैं. Right? Just try to understand it with a friend of yours. If it is 3,456, change नहीं है मेरे पास. Okay? So either I give you 3,460 rupees. 60 भी नहीं है. So I give you 3,500. 500 भी नहीं है. I give you 4,000. Or I give you 3,000. तो 3,000 या 4,000 देंगे, 3,400 या 500 देंगे, 3,050 या 60 देंगे. Am I clear? 3,050 या 60, 3,400 या 3,500, 3,000 या 4,000. 3,000 and 4,000 जब मैं बोल रही हूँ तो मैं thousands के उसमें राउंड ऑफ कर रही हूँ. 3,400 या 500 hundreds के उसमें राउंड ऑफ कर रही हूँ. 3,050 या 60 tens के प्लेस में राउंड ऑफ कर रही हूँ. है ना? Just the way we play with our money also. Correct? Now, who tells me that whether I do it on the tens, as per the tens place or the hundreds place or the thousands place? This fellow tells me that. Comma के बाद जो argument है. If it is 1, I mean -1, then it is tens place. If it is -2, then hundreds पे round up करो. If it is -3, then thousands पे round up करो. If it is -4, then 10,000s पे round up करो. If it is -5, तो lakh पे round up करो. Like that. That is my factor here. One thing. Secondly, whether you take it to the ceiling value or you keep it to the floor value. Number line में next value पे लेके जाओ या नीचे वाले पे रखते हो. So I'm saying 3,000 पे रखे हो या 4,000 पे लेके जा रहे हो. 3,400 पे रखते हो या 3,500 पे लेके जा रहे हो. That deciding factor is this. If you go by this -1, -2, -3. So if you go, this is my deciding factor when I'm saying -1. This is my deciding factor when I'm saying -2. This is my deciding factor when I'm saying -3, -4, -5, like that it follows. तो वो अगर more than 4, 5 है, 5 और more than 5, तो वो ceiling value पे जाएगा. अगर वो less than -5 है तो, I mean less than 5 है तो floor value पे जाएगा. ठीक है? So if it is -1 here, So my answer should be 3460 because this is my deciding factor. कि मैं उसको 50 पे रखूंगी या 60 पे लेके जाऊंगी. ठीक है. सो -1 में यहाँ पे 6 है, सो इट गोज टू 60. अब मुझे -2 का जवाब चाहिए. बताएं. इट बी 3400 और 3500. वेटिंग फॉर योर आंसर. -2 वाला जो नंबर है, that will be my deciding factor. What is my -2 wala number? This is -1. Sorry, this one is -1. This one is -2. Now this tell me whether I am taking the number to 400 or 500. So this case, what will be? Come on, not take so much time. This is 5, so it will be 3500. Very true. Right, Rodney? आद्या को तो समझ में आ गया. रॉबिन को समझ में आया. चलो आद्या, -3. Next one. This should be correct. That means I have explained you correctly. Yes. This Rodney has given it correct. Adya, waiting for your answer also. Because deciding factor is less than 5. This is my deciding factor. -1, -2, -3. This is my deciding factor. Deciding factor है तो more than, 5 से छोटा है तो it will be thousands place पे round off होगा 3000. Let's do for one more example. Then it should be, I think, clear. Okay, you can note down these examples because you will not remember. And every time opening the video to check it, that is also not logical. So just note it down. Make a notebook this year. Very, very important. Everything you cannot keep in your mind. You'll forget the chota nuances which we discuss in the class. Na? Keep a notebook for class notes kind of thing, so that at least you write the key points. So you know that, okay, मुझे इस point को check करना है, या इसको practice करना है, या इसको मुझे ध्यान में रखना है. That is important. Okay, let's take another number and we say 9, 8, 7, 4, 3, 0. Dot 7, 2, 9, 4, comma 2. First of all, let's do with the positive value. I have 2 minutes to go. Then we'll join again, please. Maybe for another few minutes. Quickly give me the answer. Comma 2. This is 2. Okay, Rodney, you are correct. Adya, check again better. This is 2, so not -2. So 2. So मेरा third वाला digit is the deciding factor. ये थोड़ा सा the rule is different from the decimal part and the integer part. Okay, decimal part में final output will have up to 2 decimal digits. So third digit is my deciding factor. Hence it is 0.73. Yeah. Okay, that's my deciding factor. And the answer. Right? Quickly, let's move on. Let's make it 1. Just give me the decimal part. Integer part तो वैसा ही रहेगा. Give me the decimal part with 1. Correct. Very good. Let's move on further. We have 1 more minute to go. 0. अब यहाँ पे 0 है in the answer. 430 है. 431. Very good. समझ आ गया. अब आ जाओ -1 before the class closes. -1 is my this position. This is my deciding factor. टेंस के प्लेस में 30 को राउंड ऑफ करना है. ये 0 ही है तो वो 30 ही रहेगा, है ना. 30 को आगे क्या, 30 to 40 के बीच में जब 0 ही है तो वो 30 ही रहेगा. करेक्ट. ओके, Quickly, let's try one more. -2. Before you shut down again. Quickly, -2. -2 means this is my deciding factor. And I'm going to decide for hundreds. Rather than think